Hi there, this is Art Johnson, and today we're going to talk about Switchpod. This is a review of the Switchpod. A little while back, I did an unboxing of the Switchpod. You may want to refer to that. But today we're going to do a more thorough review of the Switchpod. Is this something you want to buy? We'll try to give you the answer to that question. So here is the Switchpod. It's a very, very clever device. I have to tell you that I'm very impressed with this thing. But we will talk about some of the things that I don't think are so great about this. So stay tuned. The Switchpod was invented by a couple of YouTubers. And they knew what they were doing, and they did a lot of research into this before they launched this thing. And it's been very, very successful. I'm going to give you a review on, and there's lots of reviews online, but there's going to be something different about this review because I have some recommendations. So let's get into it. This doesn't even look like a tripod, does it? So you open it up by grabbing one, and you flip it open, and there's your tripod. And so you can set this down like this on a table, or you can use it this way. Okay, here I am holding the Switchpod with my Panasonic G9, and I'm holding it up here. Let me hold it with my left hand. We get a better view on this thing. This is how you would hold this if you were walking down the street doing vlogging. You hold it out this far. One of the clever things that they've done on this is they've put an angle on this, so rather than holding straight up like that, you can it extends about, another 4 inches or 5 inches maybe. It's the best handheld tripod or device or whatever you want to call it. It's the best handheld implement that I know of to use this camera in a walking down the street vlogging situation. Some of the features on this that you might want to take note of are the grip here, so your hand fits very nicely in there. And for this device, you can do it two-handed. They really put a lot of thinking into this and a lot of research. So rather than just make a pull with a quarter 20 thread at the end, they contacted a lot of people who were in the industry and asking questions, and and made multiple iterations of this. It's made of aluminum. Open it up just like that with a snap of the wrist, and now you've got a tripod rather than a vlogging stick. Inside here, just to show you the attention to detail, they've got quarter 20 threads, holes here and here. So if you wanted to attach a microphone or a light or something, you could attach them right there at camera level, which is another handy little feature. Since it is aluminum, it's very light, and at the same time, it's very sturdy. I would highly recommend this. Now, having said that, there's a couple of things that I don't like about it. This thing sells for just under $100, $99.99. And they do make a ball head for this. That's $35. But the Joby version of this, the one that they go against, that's their big competitor, comes with the ball head. And that sells for $79, I think. And so this one is $100 plus $35 for the ball head. So $135 compared to $79. That's a big difference. This is really a cool device. Is it worth spending all that extra money for it? And if you're doing a lot of vlogging and you get day-to-day use out of it, I would say definitely go for it. There is another thing that we want to discuss. When I open this up, okay, and I set this down on a table, okay, it's got to be a level table. So if you're out and about and you set this down on something that's not level, there's no way to level this. I mean, you could put a book under one to, you'd have to find some external way. So there's no screws in the legs, which would be a solution, up and down, so you can adjust this. You got to be sure that you're doing it on a level surface. Now, I do most of my work inside, so I would put it on a table. And if I was outside, I would put it on a table. I'm not going to put it on a rock where the thing is going to fall over and damage thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment. Let's be serious. So, but it is a concern. Here's the second thing, and there is a solution to this. So when you put this on the table, depending on how tall the table is, this is this many inches tall. So what's that? About a foot tall. So if it's a 3-foot table, this is a foot higher. Maybe a little more than a foot, but not much more. So a little bit higher. And if you stand a few feet away, you're not going to be able to get your head in. That's what the ball head would do. You could elevate the level. You could point the camera up a little bit if you had the ball head. Without the ball head, you're SOL. And even with the ball head, you don't really necessarily want that thing pointing up to you, so it shows your chin. You want it to be as level as possible. There's some tripods. In fact, to think of a full-size tripod, you can go up and down. The tripod is 5 feet tall, and then you have a center post that goes up and down. Something like this, which I can extend out. So I can put this on top of this and then even extend it out like that. So I can get another foot here, and so not quite 2 feet to extend that up. This will be very, very handy having a device like this. I just looked up on Amazon tripod extender, and this is what came up. It cost me $19. I think if you shopped around real carefully, you could save even a few dollars over the $19 to be able to extend the use of my Switchpod and get it closer to the proper level and be able to adjust the level. See, there's no adjustment here about the level. You set it down, and however high that is on the table or wherever you're setting it, that's the height. No options. With this, you can use it, not use it. You can use it at this height, or you can extend it up. So, lots of flexibility. I highly recommend, and I'll leave you a link where you can get this. I get nothing for it. I'm not selling these on the side or anything like that. I'm not getting any commission or kickback on it. But if I had this Switchpod, which I do, I would want one of these, and I think you would too also. I only really brought that up as part of the review to show you that as good as these guys did on the research on this thing, and they may have even considered something like this, I don't know, that there's some inherent issues with this, is that I guess the best thing to say is it is what it is, right? I mean, this thing isn't advertised to being a flexible tripod. It's a Switchpod. You can use it for vlogging and then flip it open and set it down and use it as a regular mini tripod, which is true. They're not making any false representations here at all. I'm just making a suggestion that if you pair this with this, you're enhancing the value of this greatly, because you've got a lot more flexibility when you can change the height. So that's my review. Do I like this Switchpod? Would I buy the Switchpod if I weren't doing a review of it? The answer is yes. It's well built. It's well designed. The advantage of this overtake the little criticisms that I had. I think it's too expensive. I think that the price is a good $20 to $30 too high. But that's my big issue. And then the other thing is I think something like this, either as an accessory or included or actually built into it, would be my first choice, is to have an extender built into this device so that you could raise and lower the Switchpod. That's my story, folks. 2 thumbs up. Pat Flynn and Caleb Wojcik, I think are their names, came up with this idea, did all the research, they did a jump Kickstarter on this thing. They got the funding to be able to go forward with the design and the manufacture. I'm sure a lot of hours went into this thing. Very original device. Definitely 2 thumbs up to those guys. I have the greatest admiration for them. Switchpod, get one.